Alright guys, we're going to throw our rock solid mount on. We've already got it tapped, so all we have to do is sit it on here. We are not going to be putting on any Loctite or bedding compound or any of that mess, because this rifle, we will be taking this back off when we Duracoat it. We're just going to put it on here where we can do a quick bore sight, and it's just got two socket head cap screws on here. Torque them down just a hair. And on this side, we have one screw through the side. This is our anchor screw. This is what really makes these rock solid mounts worth the money. It gives you a really solid base. You Loctite these screws in there, and this puppy ain't going nowhere. And if you bed these on, it definitely ain't going nowhere. So we'll torque her down. And make sure that we don't have any clearance issues with our bolt. Alright guys, got our bolts all torqued down now, good and snug. I had to cut one thread off of this back bolt because it was too long, and when you put it in, it would not let the bolt move because it was catching the lug. But now everything functions smooth as butter. Alright, now we're going to do our rings. Alright guys, for this project we're going to be using the worn scope mounts, Maxima series. They're really good, and they even come with a tool. So the first thing we're going to do is open up our rings. And you're just going to take out, you can see, you got 4 screws, 4 Torx screws you're going to remove from this. Alright, once you got this took out, you got this little eye block. That's what I call eye block. It does have a little groove in it. It don't really matter whether you put that groove up or down unless you're using a mount that has that groove in it. We're just going to be using standard. So we'll just put it in like so. And we'll set that to the side. We'll do the same thing to our other mount. Just pop out your screws. You got 2 short screws go up top, and 2 longer screws that go to the bottom. Alright, and for this project we're going to be using a Simmons Whitetail Classic rifle scope. It's a 6.5 by 20 by 50. It's a beast of a scope. Got a super good deal on it from Midway. And I think it's going to work out pretty good. We will see. It's the first mil dot. This is a mil dot scope. It's the first mil dot I've ever used, so we'll see how it goes. It comes with the 30 on 50. Put that. I'm gonna take this scope cover off and see. Has the 50, 25 yards, and it's segmented all the way out from 50 all the way out to infinity. But basically all you'll do with your rings is you'll drop a piece on the floor. You just put that little jewel right there, and then sit your top portion on. Drop in 2 short screws. And then put in your 2 long screws. And you don't want to torque them down. You just want to put a couple of turns on them where the ring won't fall apart. Like so. Main thing is you still want to be able to adjust it. You'll do the same thing with the rear scope ring. Short screws go in the top, long screws go in the bottom. Drop one in the floor. Alright, now the long ones are in the bottom and the short ones are in the top. Give it a couple of turns so that it doesn't fall a million pieces in your hands. And there's our scope. Now we'll move the rifle over here and put it on. See, that still gives us enough where we can adjust it. And you can move it as far in or out as you want to compensate for your eye relief. I would suggest sitting behind the scope and setting it to where you want it, and seeing how much eye relief you're going to get, because this is going to be a real heavy kicking rifle. So this ATI stock will probably take a little bit of the recoil out of it, but we'll see. Alright, now I'm going to line her up and bore sight her, and I won't be able to do that on camera. Basically, if you don't have a bore sighting set up, take it to somebody and it just saves you a lot of money on ammunition, putting it on paper, which is not going to be a big deal for the Nagant because you can buy rounds fairly cheap. But I'm going to set it up, and then hopefully next few days we can get out there and shoot it.